You might have seen the buzz. Someone's offering a brand new iPhone for just 0.000455 pi. That's right, not dollars, not euros, but pi, the digital currency you've probably seen people mining on their phones for years. The listing has exploded across social media, with screenshots and excited posts flooding Pi network groups and crypto forums. It's the kind of headline that makes you stop and wonder, is this for real or just another internet stunt? For millions who've been tapping the Pi app for years, this is the first time their digital coins seem to buy something real. Until now, Pi has mostly lived in the digital world. Numbers on a screen, promises of future value, and a community hoping for a breakthrough. But this iPhone listing feels different. It's tangible, it's valuable, and it's making people rethink what their Pi might actually be worth. Pi has always been more promise than product, but this iPhone listing is a game changer. It's the first time many have seen Pi used for a high-profile, real-world purchase. Suddenly, the idea of spending Pi on something you can hold in your hand doesn't seem so far-fetched. It's not just a digital sticker or a game item. It's a high-value, real-world device. For the Pi community, this is a huge leap forward. It's proof that their years of mining and waiting might finally be paying off, at least in some corners of the internet. Suddenly, people are doing the math. Could their Pi stash actually be worth something? Some are even pulling out calculators, comparing the Pi price to the iPhone's dollar value, and dreaming about what else they might be able to buy in the future. Of course, you can't walk into an Apple store and pay with Pi, yet. The mainstream world hasn't caught up, and Pi isn't accepted everywhere. But this listing hints at what could be possible if the ecosystem keeps growing. This is happening inside Pi's own ecosystem, not the global market. Transactions like this are limited to Pi's internal marketplaces, where buyers and sellers agree to use Pi as their currency of choice. Still, it's a powerful signal. Maybe, just maybe, Pi is starting to have real buying power. For early adopters and skeptics alike, it's a moment that sparks hope, curiosity, and a lot of debate. But is this a breakthrough or just hype? Is this the start of something big or just a one-off event that will fade away? The Pi community is buzzing with questions, and the world is watching to see what happens next. To find out, let's dig into what the Pi network really is, how it works, and what this iPhone listing actually means for the future of digital currency and everyday spending. The story is just getting started, and the next chapter could change how we think about money, technology, and what's possible with a few taps on your phone. The Pi Network is a digital currency project launched in 2019 by Stanford grads. Its big idea? Anyone can mine Pi on their phone. No expensive hardware, no wasted electricity. All you do is tap a button daily to prove you're real and active. Unlike Bitcoin, there's no heavy computation, just a check-in. The goal? Build a massive global user base by making crypto accessible to everyone. Over 60 million people have joined, earning Pi coins as pioneers. But Pi's network is more centralized than most cryptos. The core team controls the mainnet and sets the rules. Users trust the developers to eventually deliver a truly decentralized, valuable currency. For now, Pi is easy to earn, but its future depends on how the team manages this unique approach. The promise is big, but so are the questions. Right now, Pi operates in what's called the enclosed mainnet, a walled garden. Inside, users can buy and sell goods with Pi, but only with other verified Pi users. You can't trade Pi on major exchanges or swap it for dollars or Bitcoin. This closed system lets the team test the network, build apps, and control speculation. The goal? Grow the user base, get people through KYC, and build real utility before opening up. Critics say the network's been closed too long, with delays on launching the open mainnet. For now, your Pi is locked inside, usable only in this experimental economy. The iPhone listing is exciting, but it's the exception, not the rule. The real test will be if Pi can break out and connect to the wider world. So, what's the deal with the iPhone for 0.000455 Pi? This offer appeared in a Pi-only marketplace, letting users dream big about Pi's value. If an iPhone costs $1,500, that price implies a single Pi is worth millions on paper. But this isn't an official price. It's just what one seller and buyer agreed on. It's a consensus value, not a global standard. Other unofficial markets peg Pi at 40.50, so this iPhone deal is wildly optimistic. Still, it proves people can trade real goods for Pi, at least inside the ecosystem. For many, it's a symbol of hope, a glimpse of what Pi could become. But one flashy transaction doesn't set a stable price. It's a headline, not a guarantee. Pi boasts over 60 million users, but how many can actually use their coins? To spend Pi, you need to pass KYC, submitting ID and verifying your identity. As of late 2024, only about 18 million users had cleared KYC. Fewer still, just over 9 million, have migrated their coins to the Mainnet wallet. That's only about 15% of the total user base ready to transact. The rest are just tapping the app, not participating in the real economy. The core team is pushing for more users to complete KYC and migration. The network's future depends on turning passive miners into active participants. Big numbers sound impressive, but the real strength is in verified, active users. The journey from app tapper to real-world spender is just beginning. Ready to use your Pi? First, you must pass KYC, uploading your ID and a selfie. Once verified, you'll complete a Mainnet checklist in the app and create your Pi wallet. Your wallet comes with a secret passphrase. Lose it and your Pi is gone forever. After setup, you migrate your Pi from the app to your wallet. Not all your coins may transfer at once. Some depend on your invited friends passing KYC too. The core team recently set a 6-month deadline for KYC and migration, or you risk losing your mined Pi. Once migrated, your Pi is finally usable in the enclosed ecosystem. Now you can explore apps, join marketplaces, and maybe even hunt for your own iPhone deal. But remember, your Pi is only spendable within the Pi network's walls. Security and self-custody are key. Protect your passphrase. The process is simple, but the stakes are real. Before you get swept up in the hype, let's talk about the risks and red flags you should be aware of. It's easy to get excited about new technology, but it's just as important to pause and look at the bigger picture. Pi's supply is growing at a rapid pace. Over 5.5 billion coins have already been mined, and the total cap is set at a staggering 100 billion. That's a massive number compared to most cryptocurrencies, and it raises questions about scarcity and long-term value. If the supply keeps outpacing demand, the value of each coin could drop dramatically. In crypto, scarcity often drives value, so an oversupply could mean your coins are worth far less than you hope. Another concern is centralization. Unlike Bitcoin, which is run by a decentralized network of miners, Pi's core team holds all the power. They control the code, the servers, and the decision-making process, which means users have to trust a small group rather than a global community. To participate fully, you'll need to complete KYC, handing over sensitive personal data like your ID and face scan. The app also collects a lot of information for targeted advertising, which raises privacy concerns for many users. Some people see this as a fair trade-off for a chance at future value, while others are uneasy about giving up so much data for an unproven project. It's a personal decision, but one that shouldn't be taken lightly. The app is also filled with unskippable ads, which generate revenue for the developers. This business model has led some to question whether the focus is on building a valuable network or simply profiting from user attention. Delays are another major red flag. The open mainnet, which is supposed to unlock real value, has been coming soon for years, leaving many users frustrated and uncertain about the project's timeline. Critics argue that Pi might be more about collecting data and serving ads than delivering true crypto innovation. Security experts have also raised concerns about how user data is handled and protected. Ultimately, the project's future depends on trust. Trust in the core team's intentions, their technical ability, and their willingness to deliver on promises. Without transparency and accountability, that trust can be hard to maintain. Excitement around Pi is undeniable, but so is the skepticism. For every enthusiastic supporter, there's someone raising tough questions. So before you dive in, take time to research, weigh the risks, and decide if Pi is truly worth your trust and your data. Comparing Pi to Bitcoin highlights just how different digital coins can be, even though they both exist in the world of cryptocurrency. At first glance, they might seem similar. Both are digital, both promise innovation, and both have passionate communities. But when you look closer, the differences are striking. Bitcoin mining is energy-intensive and decentralized, securing the network through proof of work. This means thousands of computers around the world compete to solve complex puzzles using significant electricity, all to keep the network safe and trustworthy. It's a system designed to be open, transparent, and nearly impossible to control by any single entity. Pi mining, on the other hand, is as simple as tapping a button on your phone. No computation, no real security contribution, and no energy drain. It's designed to be accessible to anyone with a smartphone, making it easy for millions to join, but it doesn't provide the same level of network security as Bitcoin. Pi's network is centralized, run by the core team, who make all the key decisions. In contrast, Bitcoin is run by thousands of independent miners and developers, making it much more decentralized and resistant to control or censorship. Bitcoin's value comes from its scarcity, security, and the trust it has built over more than a decade. Pi's hope is to create value through utility and a massive user base, but it hasn't yet proven itself in the real world. Bitcoin is globally traded and accepted, with a presence on nearly every major exchange. Pi, however, is still locked in its own ecosystem, not yet available for open trading or spending outside its app. Anyone can earn Pi for free, just by checking in daily, while Bitcoin is hard to mine or buy, often requiring significant investment or technical know-how. Pi aims for wide distribution, hoping to reach millions, but its real-world value is still unproven and remains a big question mark for users and investors alike. Bitcoin is a finished product with a clear purpose and established track record. Pi, in contrast, is still a work in progress, with many pieces yet to fall into place. Comparing them is like comparing a global shipping giant to a startup with a big idea. One is proven and established, the other is full of potential, but still finding its way. Both are digital currencies, but only one is truly established, widely trusted, and recognized as a leader in the crypto space. Pi's future is still up in the air, and only time will tell if it can live up to its ambitious promises or if it will remain just another experiment in the ever-evolving world of digital money. So, should you be hopeful or cautious about Pi? Optimists see a huge community, growing utility, and a shot at real value if the project delivers. Skeptics point to delays, centralization, privacy concerns, and inflation. The best approach? Cautious optimism. If you're already mining, keep tapping. It's free, after all. But don't invest money you can't afford to lose, and protect your personal data. Watch for milestones. 10 million migrated users, a real open mainnet launch. For now, Pi is a waiting game, so stay alert, stay smart, and see if the promise becomes reality.